Welcome, everybody. We will get started in just a few minutes as we're bringing everyone in from the waiting room. But we're so happy to welcome you all here, new transfer students for fall 2024 at Berkeley. We'll get started in just a moment. If you have questions, we are hoping that we will answer them today, but you're welcome to take a look at the question and answer area of your screen, and you can start typing your questions in there if you like. All right, it looks like the number of people coming in has slowed way down. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first job that I have today is to welcome all of you. This is our schedule planning for transfer students webinar for all of you new transfer students admitted for this fall and next spring, or no, just for this fall. We are so excited to have you all here today. My name is Tori Bookstein, and this is my favorite part of my job. So I'm so delighted to have you. We have two presenters today. I'll finish introducing myself. Again, my name is Tori Bookstein. I'm a college advisor here in the College of Letters and Science, and my pronouns are the she series. I've been an advisor here for 19 years as of this fall, and also I was a Cal student way back in the day when there were dinosaurs on this campus. I am also the transfer engagement coordinator for the College of Letters and Science, so you all are my job and my favorite part of my job. I also have the great honor of sharing this presentation with another advisor, and I will let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Tori. My name is Melissa Calderon. I am an LNS college advisor. I use pronouns she, her, ella. And I've been a college advisor for about a year and 6 months, I want to say. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here. And I'll go ahead and pass it on to the LNS advising chatters.
So we have 5 chatters here for you, and they are Marisol, Brittany, Dante, Sakia, and Anaí. You will be hearing from them in the question and answer area. And again, direct all of your questions to the question and answer function at the bottom of the screen. We won't be able to answer questions through the chat function. So let's get started.
So today's goals, we're going to start by listening, reflecting, and connecting. We are going to discuss the GBA purpose and expectations, as well as the LNS degree requirements and an overview to the LNS degree requirements. And we are going to finish off with schedule planning and next steps and some Q&A so that you guys have an opportunity to ask questions and we can answer your questions at the end. We can move on to the next slide. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So Golden Bear Advising. So what is Golden Bear Advising? It is a B course. It is mandatory, self-paced. It's an online course that introduces you to academic tools to help you navigate UC Berkeley. And it's a great resource that you'll have access to throughout all summer. And you'll have access through your B course portal. This will allow you to review your information at your own pace, have some of your questions answered, and it gives you the preparation you need to get started in Cal, especially during the enrollment time. And just to share a little bit about how it's going to look on your end, you'll have 4 modules. The first module is going to introduce you to Cal Central. So Cal Central is a system that you'll use to check on your finances, check on your enrollment, check your classes. You'll also have module 2, which is the course search and planning. So how to plan your schedule, how to choose your classes, and you'll also have module 3, which is College of Letters and Science. So it'll give you a brief introduction about who we are and what we offer. And then the 4th module is discovering your why. So writing the next chapter of your life story at UC Berkeley. So all of these modules are important. So take your time if you need it, go at your own pace, but just make sure to have it by the deadline.
So we are your college advisors. And many of you are coming from community colleges in California where you probably only had one advising office. And one of the biggest changes that you'll experience in terms of advising is that you now have 2 main advising offices, 2 offices that will be helping you to choose your classes and find your academic path. There's your college advisors, which is all of us. And then you also have a major advisor. And so we wanted you to know a little bit about how you should be hearing from your major advisor this summer. And hopefully all of you have already heard from your major advisors this summer. Many of your major advisors have already sent you a welcome announcements through B courses. And again, B courses is the set of modules that Melissa was just going over in the previous slide. So look in the announcements. If you don't think you've heard from your major advisor, check those announcements. They also might have emailed you through B courses, so you should check your email inbox there as well. They also might have emailed you outside of B courses through your Berkeley email. So you also, this is a great time to start developing the habit of checking your UC Berkeley email very, very regularly. If you haven't heard from them through any of those areas, check your spam. And if you still haven't found a communication from your major department, like saying welcome from the psychology department, then you can reach out to them directly. And the best way to reach out to them directly is to Google Berkeley Undergraduate Advising and your major name. And then you can just pop them off an email or a phone call and just be like, hey, I haven't heard anything yet. But most of you should have already heard something. You'll be getting your welcome messages. They'll often be running virtual information sessions for you and giving you all the information you need to plan your first semester here. So, in addition to your major advisors and your college advisors, we have so many other wonderful student support services here at Cal. And we in the college want to make sure you are aware of all of these support services because it really takes a village. We really encourage you to lean on everybody, lean on all of us to help you get the support you need so that you can get your feet under you and start to shine like the brilliant, brilliant academic superstars that you are. And so there's a list here, but this is obviously not comprehensive and this is not the only place you'll get this information, but we just want you to be aware that, you know, we have college advisors who we give you basic college information. You have college requirements as well as major requirements. Your major will advise you on your major requirements. The college advises you on your college requirements. And we also are here for you when you run into academic trouble. If you think you might not like the major that you planned for, if you're getting lower grades than you expected and you're worried, if you are trying to fit in more classes than you feel like you have time for, we also can help you connect with wonderful forms of enrichment like study abroad, honors theses, UC Berkeley and Washington, D.C., things like that. And we have a wonderful virtual front desk, which is one of the great resources for you just to pop in if you're not sure who you need to ask your question. So the college is a great place for you to start if you're just like, I'm not sure who to ask. The Transfer Center, which I think you've heard about before and you'll hear about again, is another wonderful place that has a virtual front desk where you can take any question. But in addition to us, there are, like I mentioned before, the undergraduate major advisors, who are wonderful people to connect you with everything in your major, not just what to take, but what are the classes that will really fit your interests and which professors are researching the topic that you love, and what's the student support there? Is there an honor society? Are there peer advisors? What are some interesting seminars or workshops your department is putting on? Your undergraduate major advisors are really your entry, your support into getting to know your major better. Down here, we have a whole lot of other little bits of text here, but these are very important offices. EOP is our first generation student and historically underrepresented student population support. So that's a great place to go if you qualify for those services. It's a wonderful, wonderful home. We have our Transfer Student Center, as I mentioned before, designed just for you. We have the Undocumented Student Program, which is a place that anyone could go who is impacted by any issue of people with documents out of status, whether it's yourself or anyone in your family. We have our study abroad program, and I went abroad when I was a student, and I highly recommend it for everybody. Welcome to Cal. Now leave. No, seriously, we do really recommend study abroad if you want to go. Not even mentioned here is the Reentry Student Center, the Veteran Student Center, the Berkeley Hope Scholars for students who've aged out of the foster care system. If you have any group that you've been a part of, any population, any community that you're a part of, we've got a support system for it here, almost certainly. And so you can start by asking the Transfer Center or asking our virtual front desk if we know of a support system for that group. Moving around this circle, you hit your faculty advisors and your peer advisors. And this is a really fun area because the college advisors and the major advisors, I mentioned you had two groups. We are the ones who help you sort of officially choose classes for requirements, but the faculty advisors down here at the bottom, they're really the people who nurture your intellectual growth and your intellectual passion. So I really encourage you, if your department is one that has faculty advisors, and most of them do, to ask more about that. How do you connect with them? Those are people who can really help you move towards being more intellectually satisfied here. And then peer advisors are some of your best resources because they're students. I was a Cal student, like I said, in the 12th century. I registered for classes on paper. Now, you're registering for classes over the internet in real time. You probably sometimes want to talk to people who are familiar with that system and have lived it. That's your peer advisors, the people who are on the ground right now living things. You also have obviously the financial aid office, housing, Cal Student Central. I'll be sharing a document with you later that has links to all of these places. And then finally, as we come around our circle, I just want you to remember that you have basic needs. I hope you all know this, but it is hard to be a student if you are sick, if you are homeless, if you're not getting enough to eat. And so I really want you to know that we encourage you to stay very strongly connected to our health system, the University Health Center, and our basic needs office, which can help you if at any point you're feeling like your basic needs are not being met.
Well, moving on to current goals, the modules do have a lot of good information, so we encourage you not to skip through them, but to digest the information in the modules. So when you meet with us, we can work with you to understand and apply all the information that you've learned, and you can ask questions and just let us know what parts you did understand, what parts you didn't understand. We also acknowledge that it is a lot of information and it can be overwhelming. There's so many policies, so many deadlines, so many resources. And going back to the policies, if you don't understand something, it's also important for you to, come see us and ask questions. LNS does provide a new transfer student guide to help you understand as a new transfer student and how to find information, how to navigate these policies. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. This is a really cool resource. It outlines Golden Bear advising, first semester schedule planning tips, some incoming transfer credit information, advising for newly admitted students, and enrollment support. So if you have time, check out the link, look through it. We encourage you to review the contents before your first semester begins, and make sure to keep it bookmarked so that you can reference it throughout the year. And then now that we have an overview of how to get started, we are going to jump into our LNS degree requirements. So our LNS degree requirements, I'll go ahead and post this link in the chat as well. These are some of the requirements that can be divided into 4 different categories. As outlined here, there's the UC campus, college, and major requirements. There's the unit requirements and restrictions, there's residence requirements, and there's GPA requirements. So UC campus, college, and major requirements, these are the requirements that you're required to take. So these are sometimes referred to as subject requirements. This would be like your American cultures requirement, your American institutions requirement, and then unit requirements are the units that you'll need to graduate. So for example, you have that 120 unit requirement that is necessary for you to graduate. And then with an LNS, there is other unit requirements such as your 36 upper division unit requirements and 6 upper division requirements outside of your major. And then resident requirements, those are just resident unit requirements that you must earn while you're a student in the College of Letters and Science. And then lastly, the GPA requirements, you will need a 2.0 to graduate. But carefully review these links and information provided to you in Module 3 for more details about the degree requirements. And then for the purpose of this webinar, we can go ahead and explore the pink bubble here, the UC campus, college, and major requirements. So taking a look at the UC campus and major requirements, you have your entry-level writing, American history and American institutions, campus requirement, American cultures. Your major requirements, that's going to depend on your major. So it's also important for you to make an appointment with your major advisor and discuss your major requirements. And then lastly, the essential skills and 7 course breadths, which most of you might already have satisfied with IGETC, which we'll be jumping into. But it's also important for you to, take a look at the requirements, see what you're missing, see what you have already completed, and then we can definitely plan together. So we can definitely move on to Tori. I think you're muted.
Yep, sorry about that. So again, iGetsy fulfills some of what you see on this page, but not everything. It fulfills entry-level writing, and then it fulfills our main letters and science requirements, our essential skills, and our 7 course breadth. It does not fulfill American history and American institutions, but you often fulfilled that in high school if you went to high school in America. And also, if you are in America on certain student visas, those are also waived. So you'll get to know better through these links whether or not that's a requirement you need to fulfill. And then our American cultures, almost nobody comes into Berkeley with that fulfilled unless you come from specific community colleges. So you probably don't have that, but I'm actually really excited to tell you that you probably don't have that because it is a delicious requirement that we really encourage you to treasure. We have over 400 classes here that fulfill it, and we really recommend that you find one that you like. Now, I'm talking about iGetsy. It's also UC reciprocity. So most of you are coming in from community colleges. Most of you have iGetsy. And then a few of you are coming in from other UCs and you have UC reciprocity. So you have this fairly simple collection here, and you don't worry about necessarily having to take notes or take screenshots here because there were all of these links that we're giving you can spell this out for you later. But some of you don't have either iGetsy or UC reciprocity. And so we want you to know that you have other ways of figuring out your requirements. If you attended a California community college and did not receive iGetsy, then we encourage you to check the website you probably know very well, assist.org, to see which LNS and lower division major requirements you have satisfied. And if you have questions about that, you are welcome to bring them to our transfer student office hours that are happening right now for the next 3 weeks, and we'll be telling you more about them in a bit. The next one is 6 p.m. California time tomorrow night. And that is a place where I am happy to walk you through how to figure out how to use assist.org for this if you have any questions. If you attended any other four-year school or an out-of-state institution, whether it's a community college out of state or not, then your transfer work is going to be processed and it'll be posted to your transfer credit report in Cal Central by the end of your first semester. And then we review your transfer work for satisfaction of essential skills and 7 course breadth. So I want to let you know that that sounds like a really long time. Like, oh my goodness, I won't know until December which requirements I fulfilled. The trick is you don't actually need to know most of what you won't know until December because you can bring, if you went to school in a 4-year or out of state institution, you can bring an unofficial transcript to your major and ask them, what do I have to do for my major? They will be able to, they usually can give you a very good guess from the transcript that you show them. And in addition, as you will see from a handout that I will be linking you later today, your first semester, you really only need to take 1 or 2 classes for your major, and then a fun class if you're taking a full 13-unit load, which could probably be your American cultures, which most of you will not be bringing in, and then a transition class, which is not something you've taken somewhere else. So all you really need for that first semester is your major information, which you can usually get from an unofficial transcript shown to your major advisor. Plus, if you're taking more than 6 or 8 units, your American cultures in a transition class. So none of that is dependent on this thing that won't be processed until we get to it, hopefully before the end of the semester, but it may take that long. So please know you will have enough information to plan a successful first semester. And at the end of our evaluation, we will be notifying you with instructions on how to submit syllabi if there are any courses you want to have further reviewed.
So everything that Tori has already discussed is part of tracking your degree progress. In the last couple of slides, we've already discussed how to find what requirements you've satisfied already and what requirements still need to be satisfied. This is, again, part of tracking your degree progress, which means that you're responsible for tracking your progress during your time at Berkeley. So right now and during your first semester at UC Berkeley, the campus central evaluation unit will perform an initial transfer credit review. This means that all credit-bearing exams such as AP, IB, GCE, A-level, high school transcripts, and transcripts of any colleges that you've attended will be reviewed during this process. This process does take a little bit of time, so we ask for your patience. Transfer work and test scores will be posted to your Cal Central in stages during this process. This means that you will see some requirements being marked as satisfied, while others are still under review. Your academic progress report in Cal Central will show you your progress towards your degree requirements. Once you have a major declared, it will populate in your APR as well. So we'll share a link about the APR if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it. Let me put it in the chat real quick. And that way you know how to track your degree progress, and you can keep track of the requirements that you have satisfied and the ones that you have yet to satisfy. It's also important for you to, look at your APR once in a while, see if there's any discrepancies, see if there's anything that, is missing. That way it doesn't come to a surprise to you once you're ready to graduate. And all of this information I've shared is in your module 3 of your GBA course and in our website for you to review. So for example, we do have a transfer credit page which explains how to review your transfer credit. And it also gives instructions on how to transfer credit in. So if you need to, transfer any credit in, transfer your credits from like a community college, it has instructions on there as well.
Awesome. So a lot of you are probably wondering, how do you plan your 4 semesters here? How do you plan your whole schedule? And it's pretty easy. There's basically 3 steps. You want to know which requirements you've already met. We talked about how to figure that out in previous slides. So you'll, if you came from a community college and have IGETC, that should be very clear, or you see reciprocity. If you came from a community college without IGETC, then you can use assist. If you came from a 4-year college and don't have UC reciprocity, or from out of state, that's when you'll be waiting for things to be evaluated before the end of the semester. Then you can sort of get a sense of what requirements do you still need for us. You'll review the academic guide and the department website. You'll also almost certainly be talking to your major advisor for a sense of what you need to take for the major. How do you declare and how do you complete it? If you're thinking of changing your major, as about 1 in 15 transfer students do, or if you're not sure that you'll be getting entrance to your major, then you definitely will be also checking in with any alternate major options you have. And then you'll be checking the schedule of classes for your enrollment options. When, again, any questions about any of this, you are welcome to bring to the transfer student office hours, and we'll be sharing a link for you for that office hours in a little bit. You're able to sort of plan tentatively your 4 semesters here, but also we want you to know that things often change. You may discover that you have a different direction in your major, other ways you want to specialize, so nothing is set in stone. But in addition, your first semester, as I mentioned, so much easier than all of that. We definitely suggest that if you are going to be in a full 13 units, and again, many of you will qualify for fewer than 13 units because of your outside obligations, and we'll be giving you a resource to assess whether that's true for you in a little bit. But if you're going to be in 13 units, if you have remaining prerequisites for your intended major, we do usually recommend that you follow your major advisor's advising. It's usually only 1 or 2 classes. But if for some reason you have 3 prerequisites left, some of you may be taking 3 prerequisites for your intended major, but that is fairly rare because that is a sort of an out of balance schedule. You've got 3 classes in the same area, and that can be a little rough. So most of you probably only have 1 or 2 prerequisites left if you have them. If you don't have any prerequisites left, if you're all ready to declare your major and move into your upper division courses, then you'd probably take 1 or 2 upper division major requirements. If you're exploring an alternate major, you're welcome to grab one of those. But also, we basically recommend 1 or 2 classes for your major and then a fun class. You really don't have to have everything you take in first semester be something that checks off a box or that makes sure to cover all your bases, because you have time. You really do. And there's a workshop I'll be talking to you about a little bit later today called the 4 Steps to Success for Transfer Students in Letters and Science. And in that workshop, I really go into what do I mean when I say you have time. You have time to change your major if you want to. You have time to just take fun classes. So you really don't have to worry about getting this first semester exactly right. In fact, I'll let you know one of my favorite things to tell you: you cannot ruin your Cal career in 1 semester. You really can't, no matter what you take, no matter what grades you get. Because we have a very generous repeat policy, you can flunk all your classes in your first semester and still graduate with honors. So know that no choices you make for this fall will be ruining your life. But in general, following this sort of prioritization, anything you have left for your major, grab 1 or 2 of those. If there's less than 2 of those, grab an upper division major requirement. If you are taking 13 units, grab a third course, which can be an alternate major or any remaining requirements. I really recommend you treasure your American cultures. And you can grab other upper division units outside of your major department. But to be clear, they also don't have to be upper division. Upper division units at Cal are numbered 100 or higher, and you need 36 of those to graduate. You don't have to memorize that number. It's all in the documents we're giving you. But since you probably need about 50 units to graduate, 36 is less than 50. So you definitely can take French 1 if you want. You can take lower division units as well. So now Melissa's going to show you a sample 2-year plan.
Yeah, so here's a sample 2-year plan. So let's put all this information together. Yeah, so typically a major has about 8 upper division courses that you need to complete. Some majors are a little different, and they ask you to complete a prereq course at Berkeley. So for example, econ, they want you to complete Stats 20 and Econ 100A in your first term. And then media studies is also one of those majors that requires you to take media studies in your first term. Here we have an example of a fall. If you take a look over here in the left side corner, you have a major prereq or a major rec. Another major requirement, an American cultures elective, and for a total of 13 units. So many of you are going to have to complete the American cultures requirement, so you can either squeeze it in here in the fall or squeeze it in another semester, but you'll still have to take it eventually. So if you met it already, you won't need to complete it, and you can use it as space for another course. In this example, you can also see multiple classes labeled as elective. So we have electives in green. You can replace these electives with electives of courses of interest, an alternate major course in your first term. If you're interested in pursuing a minor, you might want to start taking some of those classes for your minor, or major courses you may need. So such as, like, again, prereq courses, if you're still missing any prereq courses that you need for your major, honor thesis classes, if you're interested in taking any of those. If I think an animation box will pop up if we click there you go. So yeah, focus on this semester only. You can create a plan like this after you started at Berkeley with your major advisor. Again, we do recommend that you go to your major advisor, follow their advice, and after that, you can check in with LNS if you'd like to confirm your plan to meet all of LNS course and unit requirements, because again, we do have specific unit requirements that you have to meet, such as, 36 upper division units. Some majors will not complete those 36 upper division units. So for example, MCV, those upper division units total up to 24. So you'll have to add in a couple of more upper division units to meet the LNS degree requirements. So just keep that in mind, keep counting your units, and keep checking in with LNS to make sure that you're meeting all of your unit requirements. And moving on to next steps, just keep in mind these deadlines and these dates. June 18th through July 2nd, you'll be completing your Golden Bear advising. So review your B course modules online for academic and enrollment support, especially module 2. And then jumping into early July, you're going to be reviewing the enrollment B course module. So you'll learn about the mechanics of using the enrollment system on Cal Central, which will be beneficial once you start enrolling into your classes. And then July 16th is your registration for fall 2024. Yay. So it's not recommended to add courses in the 4th week. So you want to make sure that you have a plan and that you've discussed this plan with your major advisor. Oh, and then make sure that you enroll your courses of up to 17.5 units, and students are responsible for enrolling in your courses. So adding, dropping, swapping, tracking all of your deadlines. It's going to be on you to make sure that you're enrolling into all of your courses and that you're registered. Keep in mind that LNS has a 13 minimum unit requirement. So just making sure that your units are between 13 and 17.5. August 22nd to 26th, you'll have Golden Bear orientation, and that's going to be an opportunity for you to come on campus, meet some of us, get connected by attending workshops, get a lot of great information, and ask any questions that you may want to ask us before officially coming in the fall. And then some common questions that students always ask is, what happens if I can't meet with an advisor before enrollment? You'll be okay, we promise. We still encourage you to utilize those tools and information on the B course modules. Use your major department websites. Usually there's, sample plan schedules on there. There's a lot of good information, and any communication from your major advisors, just make sure that you're, checking your emails, checking your B courses, checking every mode of communication, just so that you don't miss anything. Another common question is, which classes should I take if I'm waiting for my transfer courses to post? For all incoming students, your transfer coursework and test scores will be posting on a rolling basis until the end of your first semester. With that being said, if you know that you've already satisfied your birth requirements, say with IGETC, then you don't need to worry about it. If you're still like on the fence of like whether you fulfilled IGETC or not, and maybe you didn't do IGETC and you don't know what courses satisfy some of your breaths, you can always feel free to use assist.org and check what requirements you've already fulfilled. And then use all the tools that we've discussed to determine which requirements you've satisfied and which ones you haven't. And just let us know if you have any other questions. And some general resources. So some links that we've provided for you. The LNS website is a good place to get a lot of information on our policies, on our LNS degree requirements. We have the major advising services. So we refer to the department website. So it just depends on what major you're trying to pursue. And Berkeley support portal, that's a great resource that you can use. It has like all resources available if you're interested in like financial aid resources, basic needs, academic resources. The support portal is a place to go. And you also have like a recalibrate one-click resource that you can use, and I'll put it on the chat as well so that you guys can have access to that. Go. So use all of these resources. Let us know if you have any questions on these resources. We're here to support you throughout this entire journey.
All right, so next we're going to focus on specific transfer support resources just for you. And I just put 2 links in the chat at once, and I hope that they will both go in, are both workable links. If not, I can put them again. But the first is for our brilliant and marvelous transfer center. And I really recommend that all of you start to consider this as a place that we hope you'll connect with. If it feels right to you, it can be absolutely your second home. There are couches, there is a microwave, there is running water and a cooler and a whole bunch of super wonderful transfer students whose job it is, and staff whose job it is to connect you with campus and to help you feel like you're not alone. This is one room where you can walk in and know that everyone else around you is going through something similar. It's a very different stage of life to be a brand new transfer student than to be a brand new fresh admit. And so this is a place where you're like, these people get me. This is people who are going through the same thing. There's also a particular class. It's called Education 198, but there are a lot of different classes called Education 198. You're going to look for this class linked on the transfer student website. This is a class the Transfer Center runs called Transitioning to Cal, an Introduction to the Research University. And I'll tell you, this class is amazing. It is so important. I actually have the honor of presenting in all of the sections this fall. I do 16 presentations in 3 weeks to make sure that I get to all those classes, because getting to you and giving you the information you need is so important to us. We really prioritize it. There are also other transition courses, and they are all linked on a sheet that I will be talking to you about in a minute. There's a Transition to Cal course for student parents, for students who are parents, and I know there are many of you here today. For students who are veterans, you've got your own section. For students who are called reentry students, who are starting your education after the age of 25, after a few years out, we have a reentry student course as well. All of these are what we call transition courses, and all of these are a wonderful option for you. We also now have, the GBA Transfer Student Office Hours. So this is a new service we just started last year. I'm so proud of it. I'm hosting them as the Transfer Engagement Coordinator. It's twice weekly this summer, all the way up until right after your enrollment day. I've got day and evening sessions. The next session is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And you can find all the dates and details at this tiny URL address here, 2024 transfer office hours. But in addition, that information and anything else is available here at New Transfer FAQs, tinyurl.com/LNS New Transfer Info. And in fact, I'm going to head over there for a minute so you can see what we've got there. So let's see if I put it right in the chat. I did not. So let me correct it. tinyurl.com. I'm just like the rest of you, have to hand type these things. LNS New Transfer Student Info, or maybe it's New Transfer Info. I think it's New Transfer Info is the problem. There we go. So it's LNS New Transfer Info. Pardon, it was the wrong link there. So I'm going to put the correct link in the chat. I know what I'm doing. Don't worry. So this is a frequently asked questions sheet that I put together based on all the questions that I get asked by brand new transfers every year. And so everything that I've mentioned, hey, we'll tell you more about this, we'll tell you more about that, is here. If you're having trouble logging into this sheet, please log in using your UC Berkeley Gmail. If you're in your UC Berkeley Gmail and you're still having trouble logging into this sheet, please log out of the other Gmail account you might be in, because if you're logged into 2 Gmail accounts, it will often choose the wrong one and tell you you're denied. You just need to switch into your UC Berkeley email. But I see that at least 41 of you are here, so I'm very excited about that. So this handout has so many good things for you, and I actually divided it up and then gave it a little color code. So you can see your general questions are addressed in brown. Then there's advising and class choices in green. There's questions about submitting paperwork and meeting administrative deadlines, including your admissions deadlines. That's in blue, non-advising issues in pink, and other tools and resources in blue and gold. So the resources I really want you to know about, we've talked about a lot of these already. You can see that under general questions, what are the most important tips that new transfer students need to know in order to make your first semester successful? Here's our website, as we've mentioned. Here's our new transfer student guide, as we've mentioned. Here's my new transfer student office hours. And then there's the 4 steps to success in letters and science for transfers workshop. I'll be telling you much more about this in the office hours as well. Transfer students have told us these are the things that transfer students need to know in their first semester. Please, please, please tell us. And so we put those together and we developed this workshop to help you have the most wonderful time here possible. Here's the link to the Transfer Center, and again, those transition courses. And then here is something that is really important. What should I take?
I think on my end, I can only see the presentation.
Oh, this is not being shared? Okay, let me try this again then. Forgive the glitch. Let's see. So here's the frequently asked questions sheet. And then let me stop sharing that and go over to the one that I wanted to show you, which is what should I take? So here is one. This is at tinyurl.com, what should new transfers take? But it's also linked from the original sheet. And it walks you through what we already told you, which is, first of all, many of you will qualify for reduced course load, which means you are caring for a dependent family member, like a child or your aging parent, you're working 15 or more hours a week in paid employment, or you're disabled or chronically ill. And if any of those are true, you are highly encouraged to consider enrolling in fewer than 13 units, at least in your first semester. So that plan would mean 1 or 2 courses towards your major plus 1 or 2 units of transition courses. And I've mentioned the transition courses before. They're classes designed to help you get off to a wonderful start here. Transfer student classes, reentry student classes. Let's see if this makes this bigger. Yay! Student parent classes, the veterans class. And then there are 4 classes here that are available, not just to transfer students, but for everybody. Also wonderful transition courses. Berkeley Connect is a program where you get a unit basically for people caring about you. On the same page is a program where everybody reads the same book and talks about it or sees the same work of art. Decal courses are something that are not usually posted until a few weeks before the start of the semester. They're student taught courses. They're a lot of fun. And then NavCal is a program that supports students who are first generation, non-traditional, historically marginalized. It is an amazing program and they offer classes as well. So again, all of those resources and many more are linked on this frequently asked questions sheet. And I want to make sure that all of you know this and that all of you know that when you have questions, please come to the new transfer office hours, which I will open here now, just so you can see what that is supposed to look like. Let's see. So for further information from the college, anytime between now and your enrollment day, get your questions answered in these group advising hours just for you. So the next one is tomorrow, Tuesday, June 25th from 6 to 7. We've tried to put them all through the schedule of available hours to make sure that those of you who have childcare responsibilities or evening jobs or whatever can have something accessible. If you can't make any of these hours, you're actually welcome to reach out to me through B courses. You've already gotten announcements from me, Tori, in B courses, and you're welcome to reach out to me in B courses so that you can let me know if you can't make any of these office hours, because I could schedule another one if there's enough people who can't make it. So far, I haven't seen that. So we want you to know about all of these resources because all of it is our excited gift to you. We are so happy that you're here and we want your first semester to be wonderful. So now we are done with our planned content and we'd like to check in and see what kind of questions from the Q&A need to be answered out loud. Chatters, do you have anything for us?
Thank you. We have been chatting away. There's a lot of questions. We've answered 168 already, so we're running along here. And we can go here in order. Marisol, do you have any questions? If not, I could jump to the next person.
I'm so sorry. I'm so deep in answering the questions, I haven't even had a chance to come up for air.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll jump in with Brittany. Do you have a question?
Hi, I'm same with Marisol. I've been really
I
in deep
will
with these
jump in.
questions. Sorry.
You guys keep answering the questions. I'm going to jump in if that helps. Actually, Dante and Zakia, if you guys want to keep answering the questions, and I'll kind of jump in. I've seen a lot of themes here. So one thing that I just want to get clear, Tori, I love that folks are really excited about the office hours that you're offering. The link for that, is that somewhere that folks can find?
Yes, absolutely. So if you go back to the main sheet, the tinyurl.com/LNS new transfer info, and I put that in the chat and I'll put it in the chat again.
Thank you.
Then the office hours are linked right from that that sheet. And then also here's a direct link. And again, if you're having trouble accessing these, log in through your UC Berkeley Gmail. If you're having trouble, even though you're logged in through your UC Berkeley Gmail, log out of all Gmail accounts and then log back in just through UC Berkeley. You also can reach out to me on B courses. And again, I put my name in the chat. I'm Tori, and I'm sending you announcements on B courses. So it'd be easy for you to find me and send me an email in an inbox. I've already gotten a couple of emails from you. I'm not able to answer all of your emails because there are something like 2,500 of you and just one of me, which is why I have the office hours and which is why I have the frequently asked questions document. So you may not get an individual response, but if you email me to let me know you're having trouble accessing it, or if you email me to let me know you're having other problems, I should be able to address them.
Thank you, Tori. And I got a couple more themes that I picked up here, but I see Dante has a question, so I'll jump in after Dante. Go ahead.
All right. So, question here. I'm a student asked, as a California community college transfer student, I satisfied the IGETSI requirements if I only passed one political science course and didn't take a history course at the community college. Does that mean I still satisfied all American history and American institution requirements?
That is a really good question. Do you mind if I grab it, Melissa, or did you want it?
You can go ahead, Tori.
All right. So I'm going to show you that there's actually, I'm not looking at your records, so I don't know exactly what is important for you. So what I'm going to do is show you how to find the answer for yourself. So if we go to the tiny URL, la la la, and I'm just having to go to this because I don't have the address memorized of the page that gives you this answer. url.com/ da, da, da. Let's see, is this it? No, sorry. I'm going to try this again by linking directly. Don't mind me. I am a very, very nice advisor. I'm not always the most organized person. So here we go to our frequently asked questions. Thank you for your patience. And then you click down to, I've got a little handout here, which is the way I'm going to get here, but you can also do it by Googling other things. There's our LNS College Requirements official website. And then I've actually got a little worksheet here that I've developed. This is not an official college publication, but it's something that you can use to see if you have what requirements you have left after you have IGETC. There's also one link there that isn't IGETC. And the reason I'm digging through that is this has this lovely direct link right here to the American History, American Institutions page. This is where you get that question answered. If you have questions about American cultures, there's also a link from there, as well as a link from our website to those sources. But so what we see is before enrolling at Berkeley, you can satisfy both American history and American institutions in the following ways. You didn't mention high school coursework, you mentioned the community college. So we scroll down to other college or university coursework, and it actually needs to be, let's see, by passing with a grade of C or better, a minimum 4-unit quarter, a minimum 3-unit semester UC transferable course in one of those things. So, yep, it is one course. Now, I say yep because what I heard sounds like you did it, but this is not an official yes, you did. Because obviously I'm not looking at your record and you might have said something a little imprecise or I might have not heard it correctly. So we go from what is on this sheet. If you match what's here, then you have satisfied that. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Tori. I see a lot of questions here, and I've marked some of them as that you'll answer them live for you all. Some of them we've answered, but I see a lot of questions about, how do I contact my UMA or like my UMA, meaning undergraduate major advisor. My advisor hasn't reached out to me. How do I know what classes to get in if my classes are full for this? So a lot around how you get in contact with your major advisor and how you get advice from them. So can you all share just that information again so that it's clear to students what they should be doing?
Absolutely. And this is one of the most popular questions on this frequently asked question sheet. It is number 19. I don't think I've been contacted by my major advisor. What should I do? So you can always dig back through here to see this. Every major handles Golden Bear advising differently. Your major may be offering individual advising, or they may be offering group workshops or just emails and other advising formats. They should have contacted you through B courses and or through your UC Berkeley EDU email to let you know how to get the info you need. So the first thing that you need to do is check your B courses inbox. You'll have announcements there. You'll have emails there. If there's nothing in your B courses inbox, no announcements and no emails from your undergraduate major advisor, the next place to check is your general Gmail window for your @berkeley.edu email. If it's not there, then you need to check your spam and your junk and your trash. I'm sorry that there's so many technological steps, but check all of those places. If you really have nothing, then number 2 here, if you don't think you've yet been contacted by your major advisor, you first check both B courses and your UCB email, including spam folders, to see if you missed a message. If they really have not contacted you, then reach out to their major advising office to ask for help. And you simply can Google major name, psychology, sociology, Asian American studies, whatever, Berkeley undergraduate advising. And then that website should give you some sort of link or hours or phone call. You also can always come to our virtual front desk, which is linked way up here from the top. Here's our main website and our virtual front desk is there. You can also go to the Transfer Center virtual front desk, and that's linked way up here at the top, question number 1. Either place and say, I can't even find my major advisor's advising hours. I'm really confused. Can you help me? And we can help you find them. And you can also come to my office hours and ask that. But again, question number 19. In terms of classes being too full, if they're major requirements, then the person to ask is your major advisor, because it is their job to help you to wander the path that is your major. It's their job to tell you, yeah, if you can't get into, sociology 101 this semester, then we recommend you take this other class instead, or we can put you on the wait list. So if there's a class you need for your major that is full, definitely check with your major advisor to see what else you might want to take. You do have 4 semesters to take most of these classes, and not all of them have to be taken in a certain order. If there's a class that you want for some other reason that is full, then you can always check with the department that's offering that class to see if there's any wiggle room, or just find something else for this semester and plan to enroll in that class when you have much higher course enrollment priority next semester. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. I'm also seeing a lot of questions around majors. And the thought, this is like a 2-part question. One is like, when do I declare the major, right? And then, or how do I declare the major? And then the other thing is, well, I was interested in one major, but now I want to switch into another major. What do I do then?
Yay, such good questions. Melissa, do you want them or you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I can answer a couple of them. So the first one was about the majors, right? Can you repeat the first part of that question, Annie?
Yeah, so how students are wondering how they declare a major or when they have to declare a major.
Okay, so some students have come in already declared with a major, and then some students still need to declare the major. So for example, for econ, those students haven't declared that major because they need that prereq of like econ 100A or 100B. So for those students, once you've completed that class and you've completed all the prereqs for the major, you can talk to your major advisor to declare your major. But you'll be declaring your major after you finish all of the prereq requirements. And then the second part of that question, can you repeat the second part of the question, please?
So what happens when I want to switch majors? I came in as one major intending now to do another major.
Yeah, so as Tori was mentioning, like you do have a lot of time, but it's also important to plan accordingly. So although you do have a lot of time, you might want to choose a major where you don't have to like start from scratch. That way, if you have like any prereqs that you've taken out of community college that you can apply to another major and make an easier transition, that would be more recommended than to, choose a major and start like from scratch. For example, like, if you choose like MCB and you haven't taken like any chemistry, you haven't taken any math, it'll be super difficult to catch up and take all of those classes in the remaining semesters that you have left. Because there's always the unit ceiling that you might want to keep in mind. There is a unit ceiling if you're planning to extend your time here. And for transfer students, you only get 4 semesters and 5 semesters if you're planning a double major. So just keep in mind that your time is limited, but we do encourage you to like explore and pursue something that you want to major in.
So, very good points that Melissa made, and I want to jump in and add a few more. So the first thing I want you all to know is you totally can change your major. And you also, there's a couple of shortcuts and backdoors you can use to get more time to do those prerequisites. But before you change your major, I encourage you, and I actually encourage all of you to do this, but especially the people who are going to change your major. I really encourage you to do something called the 3 easy steps to confirm your major. It is linked right here, right under question number 1. What's the most important thing that new transfer students can do? 3 easy steps to confirm your major. And confirming your major means getting to know the department. If there's a department, if you're not planning on changing your major, this is a wonderful way to get to know your department very quickly at an accelerated pace so that you land on your feet. You're going to get to know who's asking what research questions in the department. You're going to get to know what are the classes that everyone says you should take or don't take or whatever. I hope there's none like that. You're going to get to know what professors are focusing on what topics. You're going to get to know what your requirements are, how to get into honors. You'll be talking to students and professors and the advisor. All of you, I recommend doing the 3 easy steps to confirm your major in this summer or in your first semester, because it will get you so much further along the line of getting to know your department and connecting with them. For those of you who are thinking of changing your major, even if it's a major that you already have the prerequisites for from your community college, it's still a sacrifice. You will still be starting on your major at a later time than you might have planned and having to put more resources into it than into the one that you're already prepared for. So before you make that sacrifice, I really strongly encourage you to do these 3 easy steps to confirm the new one. Because what I actually see a lot of the time with UC Berkeley students, we are high achieving. We are very focused. We are very determined. And you may or may not be like this, but when I was a UC Berkeley student, and I see this in a lot of other people, we like having the answers. We like being done with the question and having the answers. So I will see students jump sequentially from major to major. I was psychology, but I don't want to be psychology. I'm going to be soc. I'm done. And then you take a semester of soc and you're like, oh, I don't like soc. I'm going to be bio. I'm done. And this can end up being a very stressful procedure where you end up wasting a lot of time. And so before you jump even to your first, I'm really sure it's going to be soc, before you jump there, do these 3 easy steps to confirm you like how Berkeley teaches sociology. Because UC Berkeley doesn't teach our classes the same way as community colleges do. Philosophy at Cal is not like philosophy at the community college. Math at Cal is not like math at the community college or at other universities. Our economics department's not the same as the econ department at Harvard, Stanford, whatever. So if you're going to change your major, please, I encourage you to do the 3 easy steps to confirm the new major. And then if you're worried that you won't have enough time, know that you can actually take a break from Cal. You can, as long as you're here registered in classes on the first day of this fall, then you can leave anytime and go take a semester at another community college, or take 2 semesters or 3 semesters. You can leave in the middle of a semester, but we don't necessarily recommend that unless you're in crisis. You can leave at the end of a semester, but then you can take off as much time as you want. We save your seat forever for you to go finish those prerequisites if you decide that's what you want to do. So please know that if you are looking at a major that you know you want to switch to, but you're like, oh my God, I haven't touched any biology or chemistry, I encourage you to really examine that major to see if it plays into your strengths. But if it does, you can go back to the community college and prepare for it for as long as you need. And questions about whether or not to do that, how to do that, those are questions to bring to the office hours. Those are questions to bring to advising appointments once you can make advising appointments with our entire team of 30 marvelous advisors starting after your enrollment day. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you. And I see that we are here closing in on time. I will answer 2 questions or give some information on 2 questions that I saw over and over and over. So hopefully this is helpful to you all. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them. We did our best. We answered so many. But there was a lot of questions on transcripts and submissions to like admissions related transcripts, such as I submitted my transcripts, but they might be late. I won't be available till after July 1st. We recommend that you please submit your transcripts as soon as possible. You contact your admissions officers if you need any further information on there, and you look at the frequently asked question information on there too. Thank you, Tori. The other thing is for GBA modules. You're saying, hey, I reviewed everything on my GBA modules. How do I know it's complete? If you read everything on your GBA modules already, then it's complete. You don't need to do anything else for your GBA modules. If you read everything on there, there is a GBA task that will be cleared by typically around mid-July, and that will not impact your enrollment. And it's perfectly there on the frequently asked questions. So thank you, Tori, and I'll turn it over to Michelle now.
Thanks again, everyone, for coming. Before we wrap up, I did put on the chat for you all to see and click on those links now. But a reminder of this video will be on our LNS YouTube page within 5 to 7 business days, along with Tori's great resources with our office hours there, plus transfer frequently asked questions. So thanks again for being here today, and welcome again to Cal, and we'll hope to see you all again soon.